Submarine. Why would anybody need a submarine license?
Who's not in like military?
Anyway,
That would make sense, right? If you're in the military, you would have a license to actually
yeah.
operate a like a submarine or something like that.
Unless you're trying to take a group of billionaires to the bottom of the sea where you know it's for sure they're gonna die.
Jersey sound. Be easy. Yeah. Sauce. Ain't got no sauce.
Hey, Blunties, how you doing? I am Desaline here with
Your co-host Farrah, what's going on?
What's going on? How y'all doing? Let's get straight into it, man. Today we're gonna talk a little bit on because we honestly, this specific person, I believe we could talk hours upon hours, especially with the case.
100%.
But it's a guy called Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if you want to give a summary on who he is, or you want me to just go ahead and let him know.
I want you to get right into it. Yep.
All right, Blunteers. You guys can look him up yourself. Jeffrey Epstein. We're probably a little late to the party, but he's been trending a lot. Basically, he is a rich dude who is responsible for a lot of crime that has to do with human trafficking, as far as when it comes to underage girls and other things. And he has connections with politicians, people within the media, people around the world. There's a lot of speculation that's around, but not most recently, but how he died was suicide in a jail cell, which is very suspicious given the fact that he was tied to a lot of politicians. There's we could go different places, different areas when it comes to this guy. I don't know where you want to start at though.
Well, I can say this. Back in 2000, it's actually before his 2019 case, he actually was arrested in 2006 in an investigation into sexual activities with teenage girls, and the case ended in a lenient plea bargain in which he served 13 months. So he was already doing certain atrocious acts already. So in 2019 is when he finally, I guess he probably pissed some people off, or he was getting, he probably was doing a few crazier things, and they were being leaked out even more. And but he was doing his thing since 2006, man.
You said doing this thing like he was.
He was.
You said doing this thing like he was doing something like he was handling his business. No,
he was handling some fucked up.
He was a very bad guy.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, because we got to talk to them people like they don't know, the 2019 case was when he actually got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
They actually locked him up. Was it for human trafficking?
Yeah, it was human trafficking. Sexual activities with minors.
Right.
There's the list goes on, man. So
Blunteers, what's the reason why we even bring this guy up is because there's speculations that this guy was a CIA operative or a CIA asset. There's also speculation that he had multiple people within the political community in his pocket because he had blackmailing evidence against him. When it comes to people like this who have power like this, when it comes to the victims within themselves, when they come forward, they always put their lives on the line. To be honest, there was a victim who spoke out against Jeffrey Epstein and his associates, and they ended up overdosing in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. Her name was Carolyn Andriano. She died on May 23rd of overdose of methadone, fentanyl, and alprazolam. I don't even know what that chemical is.
That drug, yeah.
I'm sorry. This is not something to laugh about. I'm sorry. This is not funny. But basically, there was also another person who also passed. The whole idea is this. when you have people who are victims of people like this who are literally millionaires, or have access to billionaires, millionaires, the whole rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper, and it's very scary, to be honest. It's almost unheard of, but his suicide still isn't talked about, and also he had a client list. What did they call it? The client list.
Yeah, his basically he had an island where certain things would take place. It's unknown what those certain things were, but you can speculate, man. If you have a whole bunch of unknown teenage girls or children there, you could only speculate what's going on in an island like that, man.
It's now documented that there are victims who have come forward in court, spoke against his wife. Was it Ghislaine?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Grizzly.
Yeah,
Grizzly Maxwell. But yeah, so there's been victims, so it's well documented that they were doing some nefarious things. When I say there, I mean Jeffrey Epstein and his associates. This guy is a really evil piece of shit, but there has been research done deeper. So yeah, he's the face of it, but what influences did he have, and how many other Jeffrey Epsteins exist right now? Because trafficking, human trafficking, period.
Yeah.
Regardless whether it's underage or overage, it's one of the highest paying black market things in the world right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and his history, by the way, guys, you guys might have to do your own research as far as diving deep into who this guy was and what he actually got into.
And
we're talking about
ties
terrorists.
that he had.
Yeah, like he had ties to literal weapons of mass destruction. He had ties to people within the political community in America and all around the world, ties to Israel, ties to a lot of other things. But he's just I believe people like him are a pond, if that makes any sense, or a pawn. My fault. In the grand scheme of things that are well hidden. I wanted to know what your thoughts on that was.
I mean, I believe that, man, because like some of the things that he was doing, right? He, to my knowledge, he would certain politicians, he would know that they were into certain questionable things, right?
You're right.
And he would use those questionable things and he would blackmail them for, we don't know the direct amount of money, but it'd be a lot of money. So, mind you, there's speculation that he was Israeli Mossad. So he had a lot of certain politicians under his wings. You know, so you got guys like Bill Gates. He had ties with Bill Gates. He had ties with some of these other guys like Soros and all these other guys. So this line of this direct line of these people that he was connected to, this list goes on. And till this day right now, we still don't know who's exactly on the list. Like, you know, you can go on the line right now and there's certain lists. We don't know if they're true or not. I don't know if you've seen any like if like on the web, have you seen any lists?
Yeah, like there's been certain people added to the list. They said Donald Trump was on the list. They said a couple other people that like the Clintons.
But it's not confirmed though. We don't.
It's all
really
speculation
confirmed,
right now. It's
you know?
all speculation, but that I think that's like another rabbit hole that we'll never truly understand until years later. They're waiting for the fires to be burnt out and just the land to be clear before they even go deeper into all of that. His, like, speak on the same subject, his wife's name is Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. And
I said that, by the way. Or did I say Ghislaine?
I don't know. Shit. You said grizzly bear or something.
I didn't say grizzly bear.
Nah. So Ghislaine, this is a weird fact that I'm going to let them know. basically, there's something called the Terramar Project,
Yeah.
right? Their mission was to create a global ocean community based around the idea of shared ownership of the global commons, also known as high seas or international waters, which means if you want to do some questionable shit, you go to a part of the ocean, you look left, you look right, you say, I could do whatever I want right now.
Yeah. And these people are famous for having their own secluded island, so that I would speculate that goes with the whole agenda. You know?
Right. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who was also brought to court, who was also facing charges, she has her submarine license, was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Submarine. Why would anybody need a submarine license?
Who's not in like military?
Anyway,
that would make sense, right? If you're in the military, you would have a license to actually operate a like a submarine or something like that.
Unless you're trying to take a group of billionaires to the bottom of the sea where you know it's for sure they're gonna die.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
You remember when that happened?
Yeah.
That shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, when you got money, you can do all the unspeakable things.
All that money went down there with PS2 controller.
Bro.
So they say.
Bruh, like, and they went in there, like, happy. The thing is, when you rich, you bored. You got billions, like, what? I could go in a submarine and see this? All right, fine. You go into this little tic-tac into the water with all this pressure. You're not doing no research. You don't got no light. And then you die. Like, I think that was something fishy.
I think it was, too. I feel like, I don't know, man. Anytime I see something being broadcasted on the news, I feel like there's something else that is basically, they're just using that to keep us distracted from something like a much bigger story. You get what I'm saying?
Right. For those who don't know what we're talking about right now, because I feel like I brought that up out of nowhere, to be honest. But basically, there was an expedition of a company who basically built submarines for I guess people to go deep into the bottom of the ocean. And it was an incident where they lost contact with the surface world. And for like a week or 2 weeks, people were waiting. Like, it was like a big trending thing that happened. Mm-hmm. People were waiting to see if these people are alive. But what happened was the submarine instantaneously got pressurized and was done. But it was built by a company. And, people were like, yo, like, who was in the submarine? And it was apparently a couple of billionaires, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the billionaires took his son down there as well. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was this whole thing. I know it doesn't sound... I think when I hear submarine, that's what I think about. I'm like, what? Why would you even... But anyway, going back to Jeffrey Epstein...
Yo, check this out, right? Let me just read this article real quick.
Yeah.
It's an article that resurfaced in like November of last month.
Right.
It said, over the past year, J.P. Morgan has agreed to pay an additional $75 million for a combined total of $365 million to settle another lawsuit relating its established banking relations with Epstein. The suit revealed that J.P. Morgan facilitated approximately $1 billion. That's fucking yo. For you guys listening, $1 billion, that's unfathomable. Like, seriously, it says $1 billion in transfers for Epstein, which the bank admitted were human trafficking related. Damn, yo, you got certain people right now who's committing crimes, and the feds, the moment you get to a certain amount of number, the feds are on your ass. $20,000, $10,000, over $900, whatever the case may be. These motherfuckers were facilitating approximately $1 billion in transfers. Yo, Desaline, can you please explain to me how this is even possible?
Pharaoh, I'm gonna tell you how.
It sounds like there's people that are. It sounds like everybody's in cahoots with this whole entire thing, right?
I'm gonna tell you how it's possible.
Okay, please tell me.
I'm gonna tell you how it's possible. Pharaoh, you gotta understand, when it comes to money, when it comes to everybody getting the peace, it doesn't matter. It could be the most evilest thing on this planet Earth. Like, even right now, remember I told you what I wanted to talk about, right? Before?
Which, what?
when we talking about when it comes to money, when we're talking about when it comes to poisoning people on a daily basis with things that we know are giving people cancer, with things that we know are bad for the people, water that you know that these people cannot even drink or have on them or anything like that. These things exist around the world. We have the resources. We have the money to fix all the issues that we have. But you know why we don't do it? It's because of greed. It's because you can't prioritize certain things. It's because some people let things go. We have all these superhero movies about Iron Man, Batman, whoever, rich people who are like, I want to do good. In reality, those people don't exist.
They don't. They don't. I completely agree with you.
The richer you are, think
the more
about
corrupt
it, bro.
that you become.
There's no
there's a
superheroes that are billionaires or trillionaires, my nigga. So when you're talking about a bank, those are the worst of the worst people. All they see is numbers, zeros and ones. So you talking about $1 billion, and they admitted that it had to do with human trafficking. It wasn't because, oh yeah, it's our fault. No, they knew they were doing it on purpose, man. Because you know who sees it first? I'm not even gonna mention them right now because I'm getting too deep right now. But yeah, they knew what was going on, bro. That's basically what I'm gonna say. And now, what was the same thing that happened in 2008 when the market crashed, where all like you remember what happened? All these banks were found guilty. They were like, "Yo, y'all responsible for the way we act as an economy." You know what happened?
What?
They're like, "Okay, sorry, government, give us some money. We're sorry." Nobody went to jail. It's happening again. $1 billion. Hey, sorry. We're sorry. I'm sorry.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? Are you familiar with the comedian George Carlin?
Nah.
When he mentioned, he was like, "There's a big club and you're not in it." I guess we're not a part of this club. You don't know which one I'm talking about?
Nah.
He's basically like this comedian who comedians. They They tell a lot of truths and jokes. And that was one of his most famous quotes, man. I feel like that actually fit for the topic that we're talking about at the moment, man. Because you see all these people who are affected, and there's a lot of people who are affected, but at the same time, there's nothing going on.
Word. It's the thing is, it's hard for people to be like in the mix as far as you got the regular people on a day-to-day basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people who understand what's going on. I'm going to make a perfect analogy for you.
I want to hear it.
Quick. Right? Me and you, right? Let's say me and you. You own a city right here. I own a city right here.
Yeah.
I understand how my city works. I have my banks. I have this. I have that. I oversee everything. I know how everything works. You know how everything works in your city.
Mm-hmm.
We talk, whatever. We both understand how everything works, but we also understand that we report to somebody in order to keep things running.
Yeah.
We understand that we have bad areas in our cities. Why don't we ever fix them? But we both have our own reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to say it's an excuses. There's probably some good excuses, right?
Yeah.
But we still haven't fixed them. But we still got money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We still doing dumb shit. So at the end of the day, yeah, we take that responsibility, but at the same time, we still gonna use the excuse as, yo, we still got the higher ups. It's really their fault. But to the people, nah, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But there's a chain of command, and there's always a bigger picture. And I feel like as a people, we have to understand. I think that part of critical thinking is important to every citizen of mankind, because as humanity, we need to come to a point where we're like, yo, look, nah, hold on. It's not as simple as we think. Am I making sense right now? I don't know if I'm just rambling right now.
You're making sense. Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, because we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. He's just a small part
In a
larger picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary part about it. That's why we haven't gotten the list. That's why it's hard for us to understand why he committed suicide when we know he really didn't.
Speculation.
I mean,
Like, look, all right. You know what? Let's just say he didn't commit suicide.
wait, are you saying that's a conspiracy theory? What are you talking about?
I mean, look, I believe this man had enough power to not be able to fake his death, because you gotta think, right? If I have a lot of information on certain individuals, I can have a failsafe where if I die, then I'm gonna just put all the things. I'm just gonna put everything out in the open. Who's to say he didn't do that? Who's to say the person that they showed us? They had pictures of Jeffrey Epstein. They even had certain pictures of him where certain of his body parts didn't even match to him. So, if I'm not gonna say me, but if you could only imagine if someone was in a position where they had certain individuals by the balls, right? Because that's pretty much how he had. He had certain individuals by the balls. You would think that he was smart enough to have a failsafe in case this man was assassinated, right?
Right.
So I would agree, man, that this man's probably not dead, bro. He's probably not dead because we're in America. We certain individuals don't even leave their city. So this man's probably somewhere on another island, or he may be underground. Who knows? We're here doing what we doing. He could possibly somewhere else doing something else. We don't know. The possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I don't know. Maybe this man is still alive.
I mean, I understand you're saying that he's probably alive. I'm gonna counter your argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
He should have died a long time ago. Now here's what it
He
is.
probably was. You ever seen those Italian movies where he was like untouchable?
Let me. This is where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Let me just put you in that position.
Okay. Well, in the position of what? I don't want you to put me in a Jeffrey Epstein position. Because there's no way, shape, or form.
Hypothetically
I didn't even want to put myself in that situation.
No.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna put you in
Put you in it.
I'm gonna put you. All right, I'm gonna put myself in the specific situation.
Nasty.
I got you.
All right.
Where I have, right,
Mm-hmm.
a chokehold on multiple billionaires,
Okay.
politicians, and other CIA assets. And I'm locked up. And I just even whispered, or I had, because sometimes you just got to whisper a threat.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
You just made how many enemies? Like, how? You got to think about it, bro. Think hard. Think long and hard about. Hold on. Think long and hard about this. You sitting in a closed box. Yes, you have information. You could do all this other extra stuff. But the amount of money these multiple people have, you got a pool of enemies, my nigga. You think, how much do you think it costs to off somebody inside?
But look though, right?
By mistake.
But look though. Well, look. You also, like you said before,
I didn't finish though.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
So, yeah, I was saying that to be whatever, but my main point was this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was wanted to get to. Given that information, when you're talking about the CIA, when you're talking about government secrets, it doesn't matter about these politician or whatever doing some bullshit on the island with whatever girl or whatever. All right, cool. Yeah, that's scary. What's even scarier? Government secrets. That's a larger thing, because then you start to, because it branches out. It has nothing to do with these individuals. It branches out because he was a CIA asset. He had secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Using these politicians is the perfect excuse to say, yo, this is why he died or supposedly bodied himself. It's a perfect excuse. But in reality, it has probably everything to do with how much knowledge he actually had.
True.
On United States secret CIA stuff, overseas stuff, probably stuff with other countries.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to say. That's it.
Also, but look though, right? So you're saying basically, it would be believable that he was killed, right? It's pretty much what the underlying thing that you're saying, right? That there's a possibility that he is dead, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But would you take that risk? Because let's just be honest. This man was clearly intelligent, right?
Well,
now, clearly, this man was able to manipulate certain situations, manipulate certain people to get himself within a position of power where he was able to get people comfortable enough to get them to come back to a secret island and indulge in certain demonic activities, right? To the point where I've got your secrets now. That isn't somebody that you want to mess with. So I would consider the fact that they thought twice about killing this man. And as you said before, right? You said that everybody has somebody that they basically have to report to. Who's to say there isn't a government agency or there isn't a government that he's reporting to get certain intel on certain billionaires in America, certain politicians in America, to grab them by the balls and be able to manipulate certain things that are ongoing in United States politics, United States trillion-dollar companies. Who's to say that? Now, on the top of that, okay, say the man's dead. You think he didn't report those secrets or some of those things to the head-ups, the people who are behind these things? So there's a possibility, man. Like, we don't know. We're just talking at this point, right?
Yeah, we're speculating.
We're speculating at this point. But the argument, I feel like the argument's backed by some strong evidence. You know what I'm saying?
The evidence is this, right? I feel like you give individuals like that too much
credit,
too much value.
Value in which way? Please explain it.
Value meaning like someone like Jeffrey Epstein, right? It's like, this is gonna sound crazy. It's like we're giving him too much value. When we understand American history, when we understand what's like how many like literal countries have been toppled by one man representing the CIA or some other country who just have other interests. A man like Jeffrey Epstein, right? I feel like there is an entire conglomerate of things behind him. A handler or someone who knows the bigger picture. To us, he's like that. He's on the pedestal of, okay, he's the bad guy. But there's a larger picture behind him. That's why I said that. Remember, that's why I said before. That's why I made that analogy before. Because I'm like, yeah, you're right. $1 trillion companies, whatever. He's an ant compared to...
He's a big ant.
I wouldn't even say that. Because the bigger you imagine him...
The bigger he is?
No, the bigger you imagine him, the smaller these other entities who may control him are.
Okay, I like that.
You feel me? But anyway, yeah, I feel like we could talk forever about.
We can,
Jeffrey
man. We're gonna make
Epstein
a part
and
two
all that.
because at the end of the day, there's still things that we can talk about. There's still more topics we can dive into as far as Jeffrey Epstein is concerned, and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
And certain victims. So this is something that is continuously going to be ongoing, man, because the case, we still haven't had the list, so-called, of the flight logs and all the people that were tied to Jeffrey Epstein. So, you know, there's a lot of things to talk about considering the fact. Yeah,
most def. I don't know if you have your final thoughts on it real quick.
Where's the list? Put that fucking list out, man. Yo, continue to put pressure on these politicians. Yo, because we need to know who's on this Jeffrey Epstein list. And that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Who the fuck is on this list, man? Who the hell is on this list? And, you know, even if we have the list, how deep does this go, man? But, you know, like we said, we could definitely have an episode 2 on this. But Blunt Team, let us know your thoughts on Jeffrey Epstein. Let us know the rabbit hole you go down into. But also remember to make sure your sources are correct and all of that. Make sure you understand what's going on. Always look for the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The company behind the man. The company behind the company. The politics. The everything. You understand what I'm saying? And make sure you like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
The Blunt of Reality. We here. Let's get it poppin'.
We're here, we're near, and we're dear, baby.
You feel me? Pharaoh. Dessalines.
Out.
Stop playing.